Hello, hello. There we go. Can you hear me now? Pur purple flowers. I'm talking about purple flowers. Can you hear purple flowers? Okay. All right. Sorry about that, folks. So, let me know if you can see and hear me okay. Post purple flowers mention. I did a lot of I did some extra prep today, so my start time is on the later side. And I did want to say, while I'm talking about timing, just a quick reminder about the next healing. So, the final healing in this set of 3 healings is on Wednesday, right? Every month there's one Wednesday healing. And Wednesday is family live streaming day in my house, meaning that my husband's also a YouTuber. And so he does a stream pretty much that starts like right about now. every Wednesday. So I'm going to have to not only not start so late in a big way, not start so late, but also there'll be no post healing Q&A in order to, allow him some breathing room before his live stream starts, just so that, be a polite YouTuber. So just a reminder about that. But it'll still be a great healing. Today for sure, and also in 3 days on Wednesday. So, let's see. Oh yeah. So, everyone likes short videos. I would think some people don't care the length, but even me, I like short ones too, even though my live streams are giant, for good reason, because I do giant healings, yada yada. But anyway, in the last month, I guess I've made 2 or 3 short videos because I did 2 or 3 short live streams before one of the big healings, and so it becomes a short video. And so there's some cool ones. There's an experienced version of 5 essentials now, which is like, I want to say it's like 17 minutes. And then there's 2 others, which I'm not. Oh, there's an out of body meditation one, which I hadn't made an out of body meditation video in like 8 years or something crazy like that. So that's nice. And then the third one I made, I don't remember what it is. But it's cool. And then so anyway, but then yesterday I made and posted 2 excerpt videos, which I haven't made those in like 6 months. And those, there's a 6-minute one. They're excerpts from the final healing of last month, the February Twin Set 2 of 2. And the 6-minute one is on melting what's holding you back from moving forward in life. So you visualize over and over again different things that are holding you back, and you melt them away, and it's very cool. And that's only 6 minutes, so extra cool. And then there's an 11-minute one on heal your emotions as a garden and heal your sexuality as a garden, like we do back to back, first emotions and then sexuality, all within an 11-minute video. So I hope you like them. I like them. I use them, of course, as part of my process of making them. But anyway, let me know if you like them by commenting under those videos. giving them thumbs up if you do like them. If you don't like them, I'd be interested to know too. You don't necessarily have to put that under the video. You could put that in your survey or email me or something if you have something that bugs you about those videos, which you may. I don't know. But anyway, so that's that. I just wanted to make sure people don't miss those because those are under a different tab. Like on the YouTube channel page, they'll just have like different playlists that I feature. And then there's a tab for videos, and they mean videos, not live streams. So the excerpt videos that I just made yesterday would be under that videos tab. And then there's a live tab and all the live stream videos, these big long ones, and then those 3 recent short ones I made like 2 weeks ago. Those will be there. But all the short ones I'm putting in a special playlist called shorter videos or something like that. And so that is probably the best place to find all the short ones, is just the short video playlist, which is featured on my YouTube channel page. You just like scroll a teeny bit down and it says shorter videos, blah, blah, blah. And I resorted it so all the recent ones are at the top of that playlist. So it should be easy for you to find them. Hopefully they make life enjoyable. Or more enjoyable. Anyway, okay, so enough on that. So then so looking back very quickly to the first healing 3 days ago, there were 2 big aspects and then one or 2 more minor aspects. We cleared group fear out of grounding, out of like the top of the 4th layer, and out of feet chakra, which was cool. And so that was like a whole thing, clearing group fear. And then another major thing we did in that healing, so the benefit of that was some people did feel like more bold, more courageous. Some people just, were able to function better, so it wasn't that they felt less anxiety, they just, were feeling better. But it was in part because of that. And then the other major thing we did was kind of a new concept of, we worked sinuses, but we've done that plenty of times before, but we worked sinus boundaries, like that sinuses, much like the top of your head, can be, if it's kind of messed up, it can be an open door to invasive energy, like invasive people, invasive beings, which can then, go through, like people and invasive energy can go through into your lungs, which, if you get a cold, or through your sinuses to your major joints, or through your sinuses to your first chakra, which is interesting. It's kind of like supported, I think, by traditional Chinese medicine concepts. And we did work to key acupuncture points. The urinary bladder meridian, that's the one that in the diagrams I always show, it's yellow, and it starts in the corner of the eye and then goes up and then, splits and goes back down the back and back down the legs. But we worked UB2 and UB10, which help the sinuses, but then UB10 also brightens the eyes. So I was like, oh, vanity motivation, maybe, your eyes might look better, even better than they already do. If you, unblock and repair and get better flow in UB10 in the base of your skull. So we worked that, but we worked it to help the sinuses, and the urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura also to help the sinuses, so that we help sinus boundaries in order for you to, be more present there and have it be not an entryway for invasive energies that could affect your physical health and or your presence and or, how your joints feel, all sorts of things. So I did see that helped people, and I'm kind of I like that. I don't think it's a priority for this healing to do it again. Not because it wasn't helpful, but I think people's sinus boundaries were helped significantly from the one time we did it. And so that may be something that we just redo periodically, sinus boundaries. But it was pretty interesting. Those are the main things. We also did a sound boundaries, inner silence kind of a thing. Which I forgot to write in my notes, but we did do it. Unblock for inner silence and also hearing angels. And that was interesting. I did see that someone that filled out their survey, they had like a realization, and I think it's because they could hear their angels better. Because we did that unblocking. So that was kind of cool. But anyway, so that's looking back, but I don't think even the group fear one had a really nice benefit for people, but I think we're good for a little bit on that. So if we do it later this month, maybe we'll redo it again, but seems like it's good. So it was good stuff, but I think, you know, we can kind of like check that box for now on that stuff, and we don't have to do it today. So what are we doing today, Janet? Well, funny you ask. I am ready to tell you. So, you know, the theme is abundance and safety and peace. Right? And the abundance, we worked indirectly in the last healing because we worked all the other first chakra abilities, you know, safety and, you know, less anxiety. And so it helps the first chakra. So therefore it indirectly helps abundance. But we didn't do anything like really for abundance. Yeah. That third little live stream video, that I couldn't remember what it was. It's unblocking your abundance river. It's working your abundance as a river. And it's pretty quick. The video is like under 10 minutes. And that's from a live stream I did, a little teeny baby live stream I did like 2 weeks ago. So that it's in the short video playlist, but it's nice. You finally get a short video to work your abundance as a river. Exciting. So today we're going to really overtly work abundance in 2 different ways. I was thinking about abundance and like sort of 3 main aspects of it, but I don't know. That might be a little nitpicky to divide it up. So I'm not sure how married I am to that part. That okay. But anyway, I thought of abundance as creating, receiving, and being seen or noticed. It's like if you have fear or blocks around being seen or noticed, sometimes, I would say often, it can end up blocking your abundance because you don't want anyone to be jealous of you. You don't want people to notice you. You're so busy hiding that you're screwing your abundance. Doesn't mean that you have to, you know, tell everybody how much you make and, you know, like, you know, really flaunt things. But on an energy level, you know, like just on a spirit level, nonverbal spirit level, I think, you know, if you're busy hiding it, it puts you into, it can mess with your abundance. Let's just leave it at that. So, and you know, you need to be able to create, to manifest, and you need to be able to receive, ideally, and that can help your manifesting for abundance. Because if you're like, oh, I'm not worthy, you know, or I don't want to, you know, if you have a lot of hangups about giving to yourself, it can get in the way. So anyway, so we'll work those 3 aspects, and I want to work them 2 ways. Basically, you know, when we do heal mini yous, so imagine like a part of you that is most stuck about receiving, or several parts of you that are most stuck about receiving, and you just give a healing to those parts of you. That it's that kind of idea. So, and we'll also make sure that we'll do like healing walled off parts of you that, have the most trouble with receiving, for example. Because sometimes, like you've so walled off these parts that you don't even realize they're there. Like there's such strong denial. You've kind of divorced yourself from these parts of you. So explicitly looking for those parts that you have walled off, can help kind of address an issue that otherwise maybe won't get addressed. So that it's like heal mini use, heal walled off mini use. That's one way that will work abundance. And then the second way, so that was I'll just say heal walled off use. Not great English, but you know what I mean. So that I already explained. So then the second way we'll work abundance is so debtors prison is a thing. Like I mean, we have some forms of that in the US now. Like people can get into a lot of trouble when they don't have enough money. But we're not supposed to have that, like just owing people money shouldn't, well, supposedly won't put you in jail. However, in past lives, that was not the case. And so you could be imprisoned because you own some wealthy person a lot of money. Or you could be enslaved because you or your family owed, somebody, some rich person a lot of money. And so then you'd have to, work off your debt, and maybe you really never work it off. Like they kind of finagle it, in a shady way so that you're never able to work it off. So that idea of owing can get really heavy on a spirit level. And so it could be that you entered an agreement saying, well, I owe you because of whatever reason. And so if you don't clear that agreement at some point, like say, you go to debtor's prison and you pass away, you die in the debtor's prison. Well, it's not like the agreement automatically clears when you die. Usually not. Unless somehow they were more enlightened and they were like, okay, we'll re-release him from his debt, on a spirit level, but probably they don't, they're brutal enough to have a debtor's prison. They're not going to be thinking about that stuff. But anyway, so you can have debt energy from past lives and from this life, that is unhealthy. I mean, there's some, I guess, that your angels might deem healthy, that like you owe somebody and in some future life, you're going to help them out a lot. You're going to be extra nice to them or extra compassionate to them or whatever, so it's not like unhealthy, to pay people back sometimes, in a good way. But we can let your angels and your higher self decide what debt is healthy for you to keep and what debt is unhealthy for you to keep. Probably like 98% of it will be determined to be unhealthy debt. In which case you can melt it away with gold light. So, and I noticed it a lot with people with past lives. Like when I was reading the people I'm healing in preparation, a lot of people have stuff from, life long ago where they owed some rich person who was really like heavy on an energy level and very into punishment, and so they still, because you cannot, either you made the agreement, okay, I really owe you, or the person could just put it in your space. And if you get stuck on it, then it's still there, even though it was so long ago. And, So it's easy to clear, though. That's the good news. But we're going to look for stuff like that. Debtors, prison energy, you know, that kind of heavy debt, like energy stuff in your space that you and your angels deem as unhealthy. And then we'll just melt it away. So it's not limiting your abundance in this life and now. So that should be really interesting. Okay, so then so then to help safety, sleep, presence, and peace. So 2 parts of our theme, peace and safety. We're going to repair leaky joints, like joints in your body, you know, like shoulder joints, hip joints, and more than, well, shoulder jib, all the major joints that we talk about a lot, like elbows, wrists, ankles, knees, yada yada. But part of why I was delayed is I was doing a little bit extra research, because sometimes I'll see stuff on an energy level, but I won't know enough of the medical stuff behind it, you know, like the physical stuff. So I had to learn just a little bit extra. So I'm going to show you here. So this is kind of taking up a lot of space. Let's see if I can. So this is the spine. It's a little bit, it's just 2 vertebrae in the spine. So it's 1 vertebrae and then the other one there. So, for example, you have, you know, all those bones in your vertebrae, right? And in your spine. And so each of those bones is called a vertebra. Plural is vertebrae. And so they have joints. And so when we work repairing leaky joints, a lot of those joints are in the spine that we're going to be working. Not all of them. I mean, the elbows and the shoulders and the hips and the knees and all that are super important too. But I think even more so is these joints, maybe just because we haven't worked them as much, so they're more leaky than the other joints. That could be. But anyway, so I'm going to actually get that bone skeleton that I have over by the window. I'm going to move him over to. Yeah, I think the bone skeletal model I have has fans, and then it has people that don't like seeing skeletons for some reason. Like, it spooks them, even though I promise you this skeleton model doesn't have any invasive beings or anything around it or anything. Maybe I'm going to bring it over. No, unfortunately, we call this guy Bonaparte, I guess. But he has severe scoliosis for some reason. So his spine is all like really, really weirdly curved. Sorry about that. But so this is the back, right? And then this is the front. Right? And so your spine has 2 different types of joints. They have the disc joints right here. See that space in between the vertebrae in the front, in the center, I guess. is a disc, right? A spinal disc. So that's a joint. All those are joints. But then back here, there are joints called facet joints, spelled F-A-C-E-T, facet. And so they're like tinier and harder to show, but they're like in between. So it's part of how you can kind of twist around a little bit and look to one side and the other and bend down and stuff. So anyway, they're back here on either side. And I'm going to sit back down. So this image that I have next to me showing shows it from the back, viewing the spine from the back up close. And the blue, the reason I like this is because it shows the facet joints in blue right there, in like a baby blue color. And the disc joint too, but it, that's in front there, so it's harder to see. But the facet joints, it shows, like there's a left and a right one up top and a left and a right one on the bottom for each vertebra, vertebral bone, vertebra. And so anyway, each of those joints can leak energy. It doesn't have to, but it can. And so we're just going to use gold light and red earth energy and heal and repair the energy, like conducting ability of all your joints, so that, even including the shoulders and the hips and all that, but also these facet joints and the disc joints. It's mostly with gold light and red earth energy and your intention. You don't have to like visualize something really complicated, and you don't really have to visualize, all the light blue areas. And, if it blows your mind, you don't have to think. Just use your intention and use gold light and red earth energy through all the joints. But I thought, it'd be kind of cool to see specifically if you wanted to see the anatomy of it and where they are. So I don't know if that, you can tell me in your survey if that hurts your brain or not. But the idea is, so if you would be so kind, you could give the live stream a thumbs up. It does help if you wish. But anyway, so the facet joints, the disc joints, and then all the other major joints, they can leak energy. And if they leak energy, it attracts invasive energy, like your competitive sister or your nosy neighbor or your jealous cousin or invasive beings, little beings. You're giant. These little beings are tiny, so don't be afraid of them. Your jealous sister is way more hard to deal with than. But anyway, if you're not leaking through the joints, I mean, damaged chakras can leak too, but people that get these regular healings, and also they know how to use their handy dandy 5 essentials experience version video, boop boop boop, then that kind of leaking isn't such an issue, through aura layers and through auras and chakras, right? But joints, leaky joints, especially all the ones in the spine, we haven't really addressed much. So I was noticing they were talking about their sleep issues, and they had invasive beings, boundary issues with invasive energies that were to the point where it was harming their quality of sleep. And I looked at it and it was like, well, their joints are really leaky. And so if we repair the joints, then the leaking can stop through the joints. And that can be a major help, because then there's a whole bunch of invasive beings that no longer have interest in you and they just sort of flee all at once. And then it can calm down your nervous system a lot. So I have a diagram of the nervous system too to show that I found today. This is from a guy's YouTube channel. I don't know that I love his channel. Maybe I do. I just didn't have enough time to watch all his stuff. So it's not like I'm necessarily recommending his channel, but I'm using one of his images, so I figured I'd give him a little advertising there. But it's a nice image, and he made the nerves gold, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I'm a sucker for that. But so, yeah, there's so many nerves around the spine and, everywhere in your body. And to be honest, I don't know if there's medical underpinning like that Western medicine or Eastern medicine has, found a reason why why joints would leak on a medical level. They probably wouldn't acknowledge leaky joints at all. Or they certainly, Chinese medicine actually might acknowledge invasive energy. They do acknowledge that. They call it shun disturbance and all sorts of different things. But so they're very hip about that. But of course, Western would not. But anyway, so it's sort of this nice chain reaction. When you get your joints to stop leaking, then a whole bunch of invasive beings like flee, and then you don't have that jittery energy affecting your nervous system. So it's more relaxing, and the ripple effect with your nervous system to just calm it down more. Because invasive beings, they're either really low in vibration, like a black, which makes you feel really stagnant and stuck, or they're really high vibration, which makes you feel distracted and unfocused. So they're either a black or a white, usually, vibrationally. So if you get rid of the leaky joints, a lot of the invasive beings flee, then usually the white silver kind of vibe leaves, and then you can your nervous system, can calm down a couple notches, which is like, whew. So that's how it could help sleep. What we're going to do with the joints is it just can help your body to calm down as a nice side effect. And it helps energy safety, because you're not attracting as much invasive energy. You're not leaking so much. I hope that makes sense. And as usual, it's much easier to do than it is to explain. So that should be nice. And again, those joints along the spine, I'll type that out just so it's clear. Those were called, I already explained it, but those were called facet joints. But it's spelled like that, F-A-C-E-T, but it's facet with the emphasis on the second syllable, apparently. Facet joints and disc joints of the spine. So those are the ones, plus all the other major joints that we always work. Those are the ones that will be healing and repairing so that they don't leak energy. Which, probably needs to be redone periodically. But, once you learn it, you can kind of intuit, whether you need to do it again or not. So hopefully that makes sense, and it should be fun to do. So I'm going to take a look at pre-healing chat comments. Thank you so much for the comments about my microphone. Sorry about that. It says hello from Chicago, 54 and clear evening skies. That sounds nice. I think we were in the low 50s today. It looked really nice out. I was a little busy working, so I couldn't go out there. But it looked nice. I think my husband said it was a little chilly. Someone says, hey, Janet, I can see and hear you from Las Vegas. 67 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. That sounds nice. You believe we're in March now? March. Someone says, hi, Janet. Thanks for the healing. Was feeling great all day, then got a strong whack a few hours ago. Now my head hurts so much that I feel nauseous. Ooh. Read my sister, dad in the whack. Not sure if accurate. Oh. Yeah, you do have aura damage back here. Yeah. We haven't done the healing yet, though, so you're in luck. Maybe the healing will take care of it. About to start in a few minutes. Was it your sister and your dad in the whack? Yeah, yes, your sister, not your dad. Your dad's kind of scowling at you for some reason. He's triggered, but he didn't whack you. Just your sister. Someone says, hey, Janet, 62 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny in San Francisco. That sounds very nice. Oh, I'm glad. Today's beverage today is a dual tea. One cooling and one warming. So hopefully they balance out well. Krishna tulsi tea, which I think is a little warming, and then lemon balm tea, which is cooling. So I'm hoping they balance each other out. I've had it a bunch before in the last couple of days, so I think they basically do balance each other out, which is really amazing and cool because I like teas that are supposed to be centering and stuff and healthy, but half the time they're either too warming or too cooling for me. So this way I get to, have both of them. So the tea was Krishna tulsi. And then lemongrass. No, lemon balm. Sorry, not lemongrass, lemon balm. Different tea entirely. Okie doke. Someone says, last healing, I was thinking that my old hospital job, I had sinus infections frequently, went away after I left it. Yeah, interesting. Maybe invasive coworkers never occurred to me via sinuses. Yeah, it could be both. You can have sinus issues that are, because of germs in the environment. But it's kind of both, like sometimes the germs plus the invasive energy in the environment is like a dual thing, The last time that I had a sinus issue like a week ago, it was a day and a half after I had gone to my chiropractor's office on a Saturday when like the whole world is going through there. And so it was like disease vector ground zero. And I did wear a mask like in the waiting room and when I went to the restroom, but not in the treatment room. And he doesn't, on a busy day, he doesn't do any cleaning in between clients and stuff. I mean, you get like a new piece of paper for your head. That's it. So I picked up some kind of germs there for sure. So like a day and a half later, my sinuses were not loving me. And so it's like sometimes the spiritual and the physical, they really combine. So this has been about sinus boundaries. Yeah, so sinus boundaries and germs and how, invasive energy and germs kind of act like the same thing. I mean, I think in traditional Chinese medicine, and again, I'm definitely not an expert in traditional Chinese medicine, but I think they kind of group them all together too in that, like the Wei Qi, your Wei Qi energy is supposed to protect you from external invasive energy that could basically get you sick. So yeah, I think it was probably both, you know, invasive coworkers, invasive beings, and, you know, maybe all three, you know, germs, invasive beings, invasive coworkers, all at that delightful workplace. No, but if you knew what you know now about, you know, protecting and restoring all your Wei-Chi auras and everything, and maybe, you know, you might have to mask up though to not take on the germs. You know, like literally medical mask. But yeah, if you knew the other stuff and you could repair your Wei-Chi auras and get rid of the invasive energies coming through your sinuses like we did in 3 days ago, maybe it certainly would have helped a lot. But the germs there, you know, maybe you might have had to mask up. Which, what was that? 2004 to 2012. So people weren't really commonly wearing those really good masks, probably. So that might have seemed a bit weird to do. Might have gotten in the way of your interaction with people. But anyway, okay, cool. Interesting comment. All right. So during these couple minutes, I will just chill out and finish talking to the angels and saying hi to the people that I'm going to be healing. And just in case you don't know, if you know you're new to my stuff, who I'm healing is people that purchased this set of 3 healings on my website, so that I could prepare in advance, and I have their names written down and everything. So you could purchase a future set of healings, like for later this month or next month. But if you're watching now and you haven't purchased, you could just heal yourself and learn energy healing techniques and enjoy yourself that way. But I'm healing the people that purchased, and they can also listen and learn and heal themselves too at the same time if they want. Or they can just sleep or work or do whatever they want to do at the same time. Clean their house, whatever. All right. So now actual silence for sure. So that was just newbie heads up. Who will I be healing? Blah, blah, blah. And now we will really have the silence. Okie dokie. So we're gonna do the 5 essentials, which are grounding, aura repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair, and back of head repair and unblocking stuff. However, I'm gonna do it improv style, so I'm not gonna like put little banner changes for each little thing I'm doing, and I'm not gonna explain a whole bunch for newbies on this. So if you're a newbie, forgive me. I have short videos in my short video playlist with plenty of explaining about all the techniques. Okay. But if you are an adventurous newbie, you could follow along. So hand chakra, fingertip chakras, right? Fingertip chakras, big hand chakra in the palm of your hand. So you have those chakras. Go ahead and set those to a metallic gold color with your intention or your thought. And that means that as they naturally spin, they're generating gold light. And that's what you're going to be using to heal yourself. Take a copy out in front of you of your everything. All your auras, 17 auras, your physical body and your astral body are inside there. Both your groundings that connect you to the core of the earth. You and your body. Ooh. I'm going to do some chakra alignment of the major chakras along the spine. Get the 7th chakra unblocked, both astral and physical, melt cords. Let the flaps relax for the 7th chakra. Melt cords, angels, if there are any invasive energies messing with the 7th chakras, can you recycle them? And letting the other chakras beneath it align to the 7th chakra. Back of skull stuff, good karma windows, double checking those. Repairing the ones that are crushed. You can make a big red grounding going to the base of your skull and the back of your neck. Angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with the base of my skull or the back of my neck, can you recycle them? Do more grounding. Melting blocks in the grounding. Melting blocks in the bottom of the aura layers too. I was noticing that was an issue. So your auras wrap all around you, and 2 of the auras, astral and physical body aura, have 7 layers. 7 layers all around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all of those need to be unblocked, especially the lower part of them, like around the legs and the feet, so that you can release well. Unblocking above the head and below the feet at the same time, just because it helps. A lot of tightness and compression in the inner aura layers, like 1, 2, and 3. One's closest to the skin. Checking those out everywhere. Creative rings up above the head, 1, 2, 3. They're gold. They should be gold. Deep down they're gold, but they could have a lot of junk around them. Makes them not look gold. So you can make a copy out in front of you of your 3 gold creative rings and repair the damage, melt cords. Lately, I've been having a lot of fun separating out the creative rings because there are 3 of them and they're pretty close together, 1, 2, 3. So usually I've been healing them all together, you know, like that. But if you, I mean, it's just a copy, so you can take, you know, the top ring, the middle ring, and the bottom ring and just, you know, look at the top side of them, look at the underside of them. And like the top side of the middle and the bottom ring, sometimes you really don't get that clean enough because they're all so piled on top of each other. So that's interesting to do more of the top side of the middle and the bottom ring. You can make a purple grounding coming up for each of the rings. And soak them in purple earth energy, soak them in gold light. And relax the flaps so they fall shut. And you would do that by asking angels to recycle invasive energy. So this is when the flaps stick out. They look like that, which we don't want. We want the flaps to fall shut. It's a nice smooth surface. So angels, can you recycle any invasive beings messing with any of the creative rings? And of course that leaves your bossy siblings and your nosy father or mother. Just melt cords from them so that the creative ring flaps can relax, and then flip them over, do the undersides of all of the rings. Sometimes there's just so much crap. It's like, are you kidding me? How did I get this much crap on the underside of my creative rings? So you can just be vicious and use lots of gold fire. Get off all the junk. Sometimes it'll it gets you more present if you clean these off. And so sometimes you kind of have to get your bearings a little bit, and think of your flow up and down your spine. You can always take a break and heal your spine, and again unblock the major chakras along your spine. So underside of the creative rings. We could do sticky gold wax on all the underside. Sticky gold wax, have it stick to everything that's not you. Lift out the wax. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, the underside of all the creative rings. Lift all that out. Angels, here you go. Do some nice repair with gold light. And flip them back over. Do sticky gold wax on the top side of all the creative rings. And have it stick to everything that's not you, that's healthy and gentle to get rid of right now, including devices, hard objects, invasive beings, invasive people. And lift out the wax. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. One more time. Sticky gold wax. Get rid of it. Angels, here you go. Lots of gold fire. And you can have the rings, look at them normal, on top of each other, with space in between, of course, but sometimes, you had some invasive energy that was coming in through the rings and into lower chakras, well, into upper chakras. And then you clean them off of the rings, so now they're like only here, and you can kind of feel the weirdness of it because you've come in more, and you can feel some invasive energy. So you can just say, angels, if there's any invasive energy that was hooked into my creative rings that's still in my space, can you recycle them? You just comb through everything, including your grounding, including your legs. So let's do chakra repair. Again, that's of all major and minor chakras at the same time. So basic shape of a chakra, open cylinder, equally open on both ends. Why? Because flow is good. So just use lots of gold light. You can bring up red earth energy, soak this. Basically, you're making a composite copy to represent all your chakras, including acupuncture points, including every single chakra you have. And just lots of gold light, melt the cords. The angels, if there's any invasive beings messing with my chakras, can you recycle them? Lots of gold light. And bring up red earth energy, give it a good soak. You can lift out the blocks too that are healthy and gentle to get rid of and melt them away with gold light. Lift out the blocks, melt them away with gold light. And again, chakras have flaps. So you don't want them sticking out like that. You want them to relax and fall shut. So it's a nice smooth outer surface, right? So just let the flaps relax, melt away cords from everybody. I haven't done this one in a while. You can do a composite copy of meridians and energy channels, any energy pathways. So like up your leg is an energy pathway, but then there are more narrow energy pathways along your leg, all the different meridians that go up and down your legs. So those are all energy pathways. So you could make a composite copy of an energy pathway of, just looks like a red tube, right? And say, okay, well, this is all the energy, this represents all the energy pathways in my body and my spirit, right? And then, have the intention you'd only want to unblock and repair to the extent that's healthy and gentle, right? But you can just go to town and just use lots of gold light and red earth energy and repair and unblock all your energy pathways to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do right now. Imagine the blocks and let the gold light melt them. Deep breath. All right. I'm unblocking good karma windows area. I'm unblocking above shoulders, around neck, around the neck. Back of neck. Aura repair. So you can imagine a rip, an image of a rip, and have it represent all the rips that you have currently in your 17 auras. And if you're in a private location that's safe, like your home, then you can do the wow version of it. That's kind of like wham bam, let's get it done. And if you're in a semi-public location, like in your car, in a parking lot, hopefully not driving, but in a somewhat public place, you can do this more conservative version, which I'll do first, which is sticky gold wax from your hands, right? Have it stick to everything that's not you in the rip and lift all that out as a chunk and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax. Lift out everything that's not you within the rip. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. And then you use gold light, get it as deep as you can. You say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of the repair? And just let it grow back. And so as you're repairing this, you're repairing all the rips. And that repairs most of them, but in case you have any leftover rips, we could do it one more time. And this time I'll do the wow version that, if you're home, basically in the, nice energy cleared, safe location, you have an image of a rip and you say, okay, well, this represents any rips that I still have in my auras. And then you just torch it with so much gold light, gold fire, gold water, whatever, but like inundate it, complete flame on. right, of gold light. And you just burn out everything that's not you as forcefully as you want. Because it's gold, so even if it's your bossy sister, it's just gold light. So it's just going to, she'll melt back to her own space and probably feel slightly better. You're not wacky or anything. It's just gold light. Anyway, just ton of gold. You can say, angels, you recycle any invasive beings anywhere near these rips, especially ones that are in the way of the repair. Burn up any hard objects. Burn up anything, not you. And just let it repair with the gold light. And let the Wei Chi aura gold mesh spheres recreate. So 1, 2, 3. Let them just grow back. Boom, boom, boom. As the auras grow back. Okay, cool. You can redo your gold buffer zones. I have a video on gold buffer zones, which you could look up. All right, good enough. So, what's next? Let's do the joints. Repair leaky joints so that they no longer leak. So that includes all joints, which is major. But we'll mostly think about the major ones, like shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, that kind of thing. But also the spine ones, which I explained and showed images of, which is the disc joints and the facet joints. Of the spine. All right. So I don't have images of everything, but I have some images. So I've already showed them. That's the nerves, some of the nerves of the body. The facet joints. There we go. So I explained it in more detail in the intro. It'll be its own chapter talking about leaky joints. But so I'm just gonna do it. Get that. Otherwise that would bug me. So I could be at peace. Oh wait. Good enough. All right. Let's do it. So just think about your spine, think about your major joints, shoulders, elbows, wrists, hips, knees, ankles. You have so many joints in your feet. And along your spine, you have the disc joints and then the facet joints. And those are shown in the blue, in the diagram, the baby blue color, the diagram, the facet joints. And then there's the disc joint too. I explained that at the intro. So anyway, be aware of the leaking. You could have it be like a bright blinking hot pink if it's leaking, or you could like see it in cartoonish obviousness, like spurting out like an oil gusher or something. But look for the leaking. Like where are you leaking the most? Where are the joints leaking the most? And like I said before, aura damage can leak, chakra damage can leak too, leak energy, but right now we're working on the joints. So just go ahead and you can intuitively or visually or with your imagination find those leaks as well. But right now we're just fixing joint leaks. Working on the facet joints, bringing it red earth energy, soaking all the facet joints in red earth energy. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the facet joints or the disc joints? And you may have to say that a couple times because your angels are only going to recycle as much as you're ready to handle at one time. So then you got to get more present and then you can ask again. You know, so don't freak out if you have to keep asking. Not like the end of the world. Gold light in your facet joints. Gold light in your disc joints. Red earth energy. And then the other major joints. Same thing, gold light, red earth energy. Angels, can you recycle any invasive energies in the major joints? Hip joints. Do I have an image of the hip? Oh, wow. The angels made me click on it by accident. I was going to take forever finding it. Thank you, angels. You're so nice to me sometimes. Well, probably all the time. So hip joints right there. So red earth energy and gold light. Angels, can you recycle any invasive energies in the hip joints or cording the hip joints or near the hip joints, affecting the hip joints? Sacroiliac joints, right? On either side of the sacrum up there in the diagram. Sacroiliac joints. All these joints can get out of whack. Like, that's why sometimes you may need to see a chiropractor. But it does help to do energy healing on them. But it may not be all you need. At some point, you may need a chiropractor. Get things in the right spot again. So I'm going to do the spine a little more. Going back to let me the facet joints, which are in blue, and then the disc joint, which is also in blue, but you can't see it very well because it's front. All the disc joints. You have leaks in your disc joints. Again, go ahead and see them in a cartoonish fashion, like they're spurting out like a big oil gusher, so that if you have leaking, you want to see it in a really obvious way or imagine it in a really obvious way so you know where to focus your gold light. And if it helps you to see the image of the whole spine, maybe go. Oh, doesn't fit anywhere. Maybe a crowded screen. It will make it tiny. How about that? There we go. Perfect. Little teeny weeny spine. All along your spine, your facet joints, and your disc joints. And if you have any really stubborn invasive beings that love being in these joints, just make a suspect list, line them all up, and just say, angels, can you recycle all these beings? So just get a sense you have beings, invasive or invasive people in your facet joints. Are the light blue ones that you can see pretty easily in that diagram right there. There, diagram showing the right facet joints and the left facet joint, and then more up there, the light blue stuff. And you can imagine yourself and just see if there are invasive beings that are kind of half in, half out, or invasive people that are half in, half out because of now you're more present in your joints. So if any are more half in, half out, if they're people, just wrap them up in gold light, hand them to your angels. Angels, can you help me to have stronger boundaries with these people? If they're invasive beings, half in, half out, you can just say, angels, can you recycle these beings? Hmm. So just notice, was there an exodus of invasive beings leaving your space? Do you have less wax now, less leaking? So, did you have invasive beings taking it upon themselves to leave? And how does your mind feel? How do your emotions feel? How does your nervous system feel? I'm gonna show the nervous system, uh, part of the nervous system. So right there, shown in gold, but you can imagine them as red if you want. But you can imagine all your nerves in your spine, and then as they branch out throughout your body, just use red earth energy and gold light to calm down your nerves even more. And this can help with sleep. All right. So, I hope you can hear. Yeah, you can hear me. Okay, good. All right. Oh, good job. Good job. Good job. Woohoo. Okay, so as I explained in the intro discussion section on this, you can have past life things still in your space, past life agreements, past life limits, burdens, whatever, controls on your abundance. And I would say most of the time they're unhealthy. I mean, there could be one like abundance related agreement where if you meet some guy in a future lifetime, you're going to like go out of your way to like set him up, with like a million great things because he rescued 2 of your children in a past life. So that's not considered I don't think that you and your angels are going to consider that an unhealthy abundance agreement. But what we're aiming at for is to find the ones that are unhealthy, like that, you owed some rich guy and he had a lot of dark energy and he, kind of sort of put you in chains, on an energy level as far as your abundance and other things, maybe your emotions or your mind. And if you haven't melted the chains yet, well, then you still have them. And if you never paid him back in that lifetime, maybe he would have melted the chains, maybe not. Maybe he's just such a terrible person that even when you paid him back, the chains were still there. So anyway, it's easy to melt that kind of stuff with gold light and angel help. And if there are agreements along with it, which there may be, you can just melt the agreements with gold light and angel help. So it's easy. So let's do it. All right. So, you can imagine it however you want, but I would just keep it simple and don't get too like heavy about it, because this stuff is inherently kind of heavy. So try to, be a little bit like, light and fluffy as you do it, so you're not getting stuck in the heaviness of it all. Right. So just imagine an image of yourself. And if you do have like debtors prison kind of heaviness around you that's impacting your abundance now in an unhealthy way, visualize it. Maybe it looks like you're in a black igloo that is, some kind of a you owe me energy from somebody in a past life. And if so, you can say, angels, if there's any agreements with it, just imagine them like pieces of paper and melt the agreements with gold light. And you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings connected to this thing, can you recycle them? And you can say, angels, help me to do this safely and gently. And then just lift up the black igloo of debt energy and melt it away, gold light. Or you can lift up that black igloo of debt energy, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. You can, again, imagine yourself, and you could imagine any sort of debt energy that you still have that's unhealthy, any abundance limitation like that that's unhealthy. You could imagine it like chains, that you're in chains and your arms and your legs, whatever. And just imagine all of it as chains, and then just surround the chains in so much gold light. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into this stuff? If there are any agreements with the chains limiting your abundance, you can just imagine them like pieces of paper and melt them with gold light. And if any don't melt, just hand them to the angels. Angels, can you help me with these? And then just the angels help me to do this safely and gently. And then just, you could melt the chains in place, or you could lift them all off with gold light and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And you can give yourself lots of gold light. You could do like a tricolor earth energy soak. Bring up red earth energy, soak yourself in red earth energy. Bring up orange earth energy, soak in that. Bring up yellow earth energy from the core of the earth, soak in that. Check above your head for any of that kind of like debtors, you owe me unhealthy stuff, and just melt it away. Maybe it looks like hard discs of energy somewhere up there. Melt all that away, any unhealthy debt energy above your head or above your shoulders, anywhere in your auras or your chakras. Melt away any unhealthy debt energy messing with your abundance. All right, good job, good job. You want to do what's healthy and gentle to do. Could be if you're doing this on your own, you know, there's more that you can do that's still healthy and gentle. But I think that, you know, for me, I've gotten to that point. So we'll move on. But this is something you can do later as well. You know, there could be more that you're ready to do later. Definitely. You can imagine like another, now that you've done that, you can imagine a yourself again and see if it has helped your abundance, you know, melting off all that debt energy stuff, and just see yourself and see some visual representation of your abundance. And one image that you could, I mean, there's so many ways to imagine your abundance, you know. But one way the angels just showed me is you can imagine like if money is in your pocket, you know, and is money in both your pockets? And maybe one of your pockets has a big hole in it, so the money always falls out of your pocket, right? So just go ahead and imagine yourself in this sort of, you know, cartoonish version of visualizing your abundance and see, do you have money in both pockets, or does money, and do you have enough money in both pockets, or does one pocket have a hole and just stuff keeps leaking out and so you have no money in that pocket? So sometimes the hole in your pocket is from an agreement, you know, with somebody. And so if you have any abundance limiting agreements that are healthy and gentle to melt right now, go ahead and imagine them like pieces of paper or however you want to imagine the agreements, and just go ahead and use gold light and melt all those agreements. You can say, angels, help me do this. And you can see if your pocket automatically mends itself now and it fills up with money, or if you have to use extra gold light on your pocket and melt and, you know, repair the hole. See if that helps, and if both of your pockets fill up with money now. All right, cool. So we're gonna do more abundance related stuff. More. So part of abundance is creating or manifesting. And so we're going to look at little mini or parts of you, however you want to think about it, but little parts of you that are stuck about creating. Maybe, you know, you don't want to create because it won't be perfect enough, or you're afraid to get criticized about what you create, whatever. But any blocks to your being able to create abundance. So imagine, and if you don't want to imagine mini yous, like if that hurts your brain, just imagine the energy blocks and melt the energy. But you can imagine parts of you that feel a certain way. about creating, and heal those parts of you. Any parts of you that are stuck about creating. And go ahead and heal those parts of you. Just be nice. Say, hey, it's okay. I'm just going to give you a healing. You deserve a healing. All right. It could be, that some of these parts of you are like so stuck about like, oh, well, what I make is never good enough, or I don't do it enough, or, whatever. So just heal these parts of you that are really discouraged about creating. All right, good job. And if you have any leftovers from that, you can say, angels, can you help heal these parts of me? So then you could have walled off parts of you that are stuck about creating. So like you put up denial walls and, you're really pretending like this isn't you, but so do you have any walled off parts of you that are stuck about creating? And if so, just imagine them out in front of you. And you can imagine the walls too, and leave the walls in place first, and then just heal these parts of you with gold light and red earth energy. And then you can, once they're all healed, you can melt the walls of denial and avoidance so that then you get this part of you back. And now that it's all healed. And if it's not done being healed, these parts of you, just angels, can you help me heal these parts of me? Okay, good job. So then two other aspects of abundance I wanted to highlight. We did creating just now, so then receiving is another key part of abundance. And sometimes people think that receiving like has to be like, oh, I need to give myself a really expensive vacation. Which I think that people are this is more explaining, but I think that people are manipulated into thinking that you need a diamond ring in order to validate your ability to receive, or you need a really expensive car. All right. But it doesn't have to be like that. It can just be the ability to, take a deep breath and, be grateful for your life and look out the window for a second and, take a little minute walk in your house or do a little stretch, that can be receiving. It doesn't mean that you need to become a giant consumer. And that was more explaining. Okay, so this part's doing. So just imagine the parts of you that are stuck about receiving. And so it affects your abundance. Imagine little mini yous stuck about receiving. And then just give those parts of you a healing. Say, hey, it's okay. You deserve a healing. Just be nice. You can give those parts of you red earth energy, orange earth energy, yellow earth energy, more gold light. Sometimes these parts of you are like kind of like traumatized by the hardship of others. And so it like leaves that part of you so shocked that you don't want to receive anything because you're like, well, yeah, but people are dying, or people are in prison, or people are, the suffering of others. And yes, that's true. But if you are suffering, does that really make them happier? No. So try to untraumatize these parts of you, like it's good to be compassionate, but there's a way in which you can be traumatized by the hardship, by suffering in the world, right? And so that's not helping anybody. So just heal these parts of you maybe that are traumatized by what's going on in the world. And you can see if you have more parts of you, including walled off parts of you that are have trouble with receiving, and just line up those parts of you and give those parts of you a healing. Any parts of you that have trouble with receiving, including the walled off parts of you. And if they're walled off parts of you, just heal them first. Leave the walls in place at first. And you can say angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, can you recycle them? And maybe there are some agreements in the way of these parts of you receiving, right? So you can imagine any unhealthy agreements that are blocking you from receiving as maybe pieces of paper or however you want to imagine them, and just use lots of gold light. You say, angels, help me melt these in a gentle and healthy way. Melt the agreements that block you from being able to receive. And again, including these walled off parts of you that you may have that are unable to receive, just give them healings. And as these walled off parts of you get healed, then you can melt the walls of denial and avoidance so that you get back the energy. So again, do you have any healthy and gentle parts of you that, do you have any parts of you that are stuck about receiving, and therefore it's blocking your abundance? And just imagine those parts of you and give them healings. And be comforting. Say it's okay. You deserve a healing. All right. So then the final aspect of receiving that I wanted to highlight so part of manifesting and abundance, it tends to work better. You tend to have better energy safety if you're not hiding. Hiding is kind of, usually there's an aspect of fear to it. And so it can attract dark energies to you, and it can sort of trigger passivity and, victim energy. And so it's easier to just vibe with your strength. You can say, angels, help me to be safe and strong. And that tends to work better than trying to hide from dangers all the time. Because like I said, it tends to be a resistance, and then you're accidentally manifesting more of those dangers. So kind of a fearless, bold authenticity can help abundance and help energy safety and presence and life enjoyment. So you may have parts of you, though, that didn't get the memo and they're stuck hiding. and hoping that no one will notice that you have a little abundance because you need to hide it or they'll take it from you, you know? And so just imagine if you have any parts of you, either regular parts or walled off parts of you, that are afraid of being seen and noticed, or somehow, are really committed to hiding in an unhealthy way. And just give those parts of you a healing. And it could be reasons from past lives that you just got stuck in. So you're still doing it on some level. So just give these parts of you a nice healing. Especially the walled off parts of you too that you've been avoiding or in denial about. Give these parts of you a healing, parts of you that are really uneasy about being seen and noticed, being noticed. Help these parts of you to be strong and be open to divine protection, open to angel help. Right? You can remind these parts of you, hey, I have angels. Okay, we have angels. Everyone has angels. It's okay. And especially the walled off parts of you that are trying to hide, give them a healing. And you're not forcing them out of hiding, but you're just helping them to heal the fear and the imbalances and the trauma that is motivating them to hide. Right? So heal that trauma. Just to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do right now. Rid the fear, heal the trauma. Help these parts of you to feel more strong. And again, the walled off parts of you, heal them. And you can say, angels, help me finish healing these parts of me. Deep breath. And then you can melt the denial and avoidance walls with cold light. All right. So breathe into all your major joints. Check out your auras. In the back, check out your auras. So comb them out so they're nice and full of energy and not like compressed and tight against your back. You want your auras to be nice and big all around you, have good flow. And then your groundings, unblock those, make them nice and wide. Indie grounding, melt any attachments you might have in the outer surface of your groundings, melt them away with gold light. So you can imagine yourself and imagine your abundance in whatever way you want, as a river, as a garden, as a bunch of trees, as one tree, or as money in your pockets, and whatever visual metaphor you want. And just imagine yourself and your abundance now. And you can do it before and after, before this healing and now. And how does it look now compared to before? You could say, angels, if there are any invasive beings or invasive energies messing with my abundance, can you please recycle them? Okie dokie. So we're going to wrap up. So we'll just do a couple quick things. Double check your groundings. Be assertive. Melt away anything that's not you. Get good flow. Test out red groundings. See if that releases well. Test out orange groundings. See if that releases well. Test out yellow groundings. So if you can switch back to whichever of those colors was helping you the most to release and receive. And so clear STEBs, just put out in front of you copies of any energy blocks that are still triggered on any level, bugging you consciously or subconsciously, and make a big pile and say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Angels, can you recycle any invasive energies hooked into this stuff? And then just use lots of cold light. Melt the cords from people going into these energy blocks. And melt the blocks. One more time. Put out in front of you the stubborn triggered energy blocks. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Melt the cords. Melt everybody out. Melt the blocks. Or blow them up. Okay, 7th to 8th connection. Goes from your 7th chakra all the way up above the top of your aura to your 8th chakra, which looks like a big gold sun above you. Just imagine that as a nice flowy gold connection from your 7th chakra upward to your 8th chakra, and just make sure it's only for you. If you notice any words, you can say, angels, if there's any invasive beings messing with my 7th to 8th connection, can you recycle them? If you have any leaks in this connection from your 7th to your 8th, just use lots of gold light and repair. Pop out any hard objects stuck there. Here, this connection, so it's just a nice flowy river, gold light coming from your 8th chakra down to your 7th chakra, helping you with nice calming wisdom. You can imagine your spiritual path, a road that's just for you, helps you to, well, it's what you're meant to learn and experience in this lifetime. But you can have unnecessary drama and interference on this path. So you can just check out the path, your spiritual path. Make sure you're on it. Make sure you're looking forward on your path. Make sure you're moving forward on your path. And you can have a nice gold flowy force field around your path going forward to help protect your path so that it's not so easy for people to dump on it. So heal and repair that gold flowy force field around your spiritual path. And unblock your path. You might have barriers or burdens that are unnecessary and unhealthy on your path. You melt them away. You want to be able to whoosh, go forward at a nice pace that's satisfying for you and healthy for you. And check behind you on your path. You want to melt away any unnecessary, unhealthy things you're trying to drag forward, like burdens, drama, whatever. If there's any invasive energies already on your spiritual path, just say, angels, can you recycle them? Angels, can you help me wrap up this healing? Angels, can you help me with my safety and abundance and peace? And you can say too, for to be compassionate, you can say, angels, can you please angels, can you please help all sentient beings on the planet with their safety, abundance, and peace? You're not linking your abundance to theirs, but you can still ask the angels to help everybody. That's fine. So angels, can you please help everybody, every sentient being on the planet? So that includes the cats and the dogs and the squirrels and the dolphins. Also, can you please help all sentient beings on the planet with their safety, abundance, and peace? Deep breath. All right, good job. Woohoo, that's healing. You're amazing. Yay. Okie doke. So the healing part of this live stream is done, and I'll take a quick break for the restroom, and then I'll turn the camera back on and do a moment of stretching. Maybe that inspires you to stretch. I don't know. But I have been reading or watching videos a lot about how, you don't want to be sedentary all day. You want to, ideally, uh, if you're physically able to get up and walk, then why not go for it and do that throughout your day, even if it's just a minute in your house, just so that your brain is reminded that you need your muscles and that your brain should continue to support muscles and even in your golden years. All right. So, restroom break. I'll let you, I'll get rid of the camera while I'm gone and I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. So I'm going to do a moment of stretching. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. There we go. Okay. Okie dokie. So I'm going to change my little thing so that YouTube shows me all the chat comments, which for some reason is not default. Let's see. Are there any that I missed? Someone says, thanks. I feel so much better now. Going to sleep. 4:59 a.m. here. All the best. Well, good. I'm glad the healing helped. That's awesome. Someone says, thank you, Janet. The leaky joints and healing walled off parts of you being seen. Yeah, the ones that didn't want to be seen were my favorite parts. I had been having really bad neck pain around my left shoulder, left vertebrae near shoulder. Oh, I guess not anymore. I thought it was some lung and large intestine way chi or damage in that area, but now I'm thinking it was leaky joints. Am I reading that right? Well, it could be both. It could definitely be both. Yeah, I would say it was both. Left shoulder, left vertebrae near shoulder. So neck pain around there. It was definitely a lot of leaking. But was it also? Yeah, it was both. Someone says, thank you for the healing. My inner self is feeling more awake. You know, I'm gonna get an ice pack for a sec. When I was doing that hurdler stretch, I like moved away. I shouldn't have. I'm gonna get an ice pack. I'll be right back. I've done that before because it's like with the hurdler stretch, one of my quads, you know, in the front of your thigh, it is always much tighter than the other. So the one that's not as tight, I tend to not be as careful, and I'm like kind of cavalier when I do it. Like, da, 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 I'm gonna stretch this side. This side's so flexible, blah blah blah, and then I like angle the wrong way, and I like pinch like some muscle or something right around like right around here somewhere, and I get this little ouch, like oops, shouldn't have done that. So there's that. That's why you need to be really careful when you stretch. All right. Someone says, thank you for the healing. My inner self is feeling more awake. Well, that's cool. The abundance topic was my favorite. When I look at its river, yeah, look at your abundance as a river, which is that short video that is now, that one's about maybe a week or two old, I think. It seems like a storm just left. The sun is shiny and flowers are growing. Oh, that's adorable. I see my mom in a tight corner, but I just gave her to my angels. They are really pressing me about journaling, but I will clear the blocks that stop me from doing it when I think of doing it. Was I right? Yes, your angels are pressuring you to journal. You know, I think part of journaling is like you validate your own thoughts and ideas and feelings. And your angels are pointing out that it's sort of I mean, it's helpful for everybody, but especially I think if you're a mom of like younger kids, it's like, or even like a pet mom, you know, of like high maintenance pets, like maybe I have. I mean, it's not his fault, but you can get into this space where you prioritize how everyone else is doing and you don't really give yourself enough space to like think your own thoughts, and it can mess with your head. So even if you just spend 5 minutes journaling about whatever, you know, just to like gather your thoughts and stuff, it helps your brain. And that video that I have on, there's a video that I link in my signature on my email. Not the, if I'm emailing you individually, it's linked. I think it might be linked also in this chat, in the info section of this live stream. It's like a video about how journaling helps your brain. But anyway, yes. So long story short, yes, your angels want you to journal. Was your mother in a corner of your abundance river? Yes. He is not now. That's true. So yes, that's all accurate. Someone says, "Hi, Jana. I feel a lot more energy come back." Now I don't know who you are, which is okay, but so I don't know if you got the healing from me or not, or if you just healed yourself, but that's fine. But just FYI, I don't know who you are. I feel a lot more energy come back. I feel one last later kind of distracting me from settling into it. Are you able to see if it's cords from others or a belief or something else? Oh, you corrected a typo. Last layer. I feel one last layer kind of distracting me from settling into it. It's not as easy for me to read you because a lot of people have up like sort of this masking when they're on social media, so they don't want people to see them. So, kind of gets in the way when you ask someone to read them and, but you have your social media masking up and you don't put your name, but I'll try anyway. So your question is, you have a lot more energy now. Yes, you're moving forward on your path, at a pretty nice clip. Before you were kind of like looking and pausing a lot. You'd move forward, but then you'd pause and look around and pause. And so, that's better. Your grounding is releasing a lot right now. You're in 7 through 3. You're not in 2 or 1. Those aura layers, the ones that are closest to your body and your astral body and physical body, have a lot of tightness. So you could work on unblocking the layers just above your head or just below your feet, all around you. But you just do above and below first, and that usually pops out the layers better. But I'm glad you're doing much better. I think the leaking, the repairing the leaking joints, was a real nice one for you. You could repeat that later and just keep checking in with that. So, the whole last layer, I'm not sure what you mean by that. But yeah, you are more present. You're moving forward. You could just work on like unblocking your first chakra and your second chakra more. First chakra, second chakra, in the front and the back, and those aura layers that are closest to your skin, first and second layers. So I hope that helps. Somebody says, I was healing my abundance river a few days ago and saw 4 of these white clamps on either end and in the middle of the river. They seem to be from my mom, but not from this life. I think I got rid of them, but was I reading that right about the clamps? The clamps were definitely there. They look more silver than white to me. Are they still there? There's something weird about it. Yeah, there is still something there in those spots, but not from that person. Like sometimes that'll happen. Like, you'll get a device from somebody, you remove it, but then there's a different device from somebody before that. And that's why the second device was able to get there so easily, because it's like already blocked up and you're already not there. So I think that's what's going on. Like you did get rid of those and I don't think they were from your mother. They were from a past life. Someone that vibes like her, for sure. Like kind of needy and guilt trippy. But anyway, but I think there's still something there in those 4 spots. Like a pile of white rocks there, a pile of guilt, from a different person in those 4 places. So I think those are just like weak spots that have different past life stuff in them. So you could keep clearing more from those 4 spots. in your abundance river. Hope that makes sense. So, someone says, thanks, Janet, for the healing. I noticed less knee pain with group fear in the first healing and more relief in this healing with leaky joints, more relaxed. If I continue with these two techniques and exercising, would it help with presence in the first chakra and legs? I am working to be more present and fitted every day. Anything else I can add? I think the leaky joints for sure. You could keep working that. I think there's a lot more mileage you could get out of that one. Not that it's very time consuming to keep working it, just like a minute twice a day type idea. But I think that could be very nice to just keep checking in on if your joints are leaky, especially, just the major ones, and then the spinal, the disc joints, and the facet joints that I showed in the intro explanation before the healing. The group fear. Yes. I think it's specifically group fear of your the people from the country that you're from. I mean, I know you're a US citizen, but then I forget which country you keep traveling back to, and like people on both sides of your family are from, and your husband's family is from that country. Whatever that country is. I forget the name. And it's group fear from people from that country, and also group fear from your immediate, your extended family. So it's not group fear from everyone on the planet that trips you up. It's that ethnic group, which is why angels are always like, you don't really have to marry within your ethnic group, because sometimes if you mix it up, then you you get like unstuck by being around other groups, because other groups are stuck on different things. So sometimes, it's a little bit it's easier to stay stuck if you're around people that are stuck in the same way. But you're already married, so the you could just be sure to clear the group fear from that people from that country and people from that country that are in the US, and then in your extended family, yada yada, your husband's family, yada yada. But yeah, that's part of why your angels have hopes for one of your sons, that maybe he will marry somebody who's from an ethnic background that's far more liberated as far as attitudes towards women, so that he can't get away with any of it. He can't get away with the negative sort of misogynist attitudes that he has been sort of marinating in. They're like crossing their fingers that whatever woman he falls in love with sets him straight. As far as that. Oh, it's funny. Anything else? I think that would be big, though, getting out of the group fear and the sort of group rules of that ethnic group would be very big, helpful for your first chakra in your legs. That person mentioned their name. Oh, good. So backtracking, let's see if I see anything extra because of that. So you had said you felt more energy. So, okay. So you definitely, I did not heal in the healing, which obviously you know, but I didn't know. So, okay. So you did the healing along with the live stream, and that's great. And let's see, what part helped you the most? You know, the debtors, the past life debtors jail type limitations and stuff. You had some really big ones from past lives that you cleared. That was from like 4 different lives in particular, past lives in particular. It was a lot of heavy stuff, and you cleared it. I mean, you could do it more later, you know, because there's each time there's probably more that you're ready to do, but that stands out really a lot. The leaky joints, the before and after is great too. Yeah, it's nice. The creative ring work seems to have been a nice before and after too. You could keep doing that, but I do have a, you know, in the short video playlist, there's probably at least one on the creative rings. Just on the creative rings, you know, just a short little video. But I mean, you could do whatever. But that seemed to be a big thing. Working your creative rings helped a bunch. You just seem lighter, you know? It's like, I think before you did this healing, it was just so much weighing you down, and now it's like you're bringing a lot of your lighter, more gentle, self-nurturing energy, and just you're a lot more colorful. There's like a just more of a grace, you know, and you're kind of gliding forward. So great job. Alrighty. And if you did want to see the schedule of future healings, it's on my website, jwhealing.com. There's a page called upcoming themes, and that'll have them. Also, the purchase page, of course, has all the sets that are coming up too. But like, for example, there's one more healing in this set, and that's this Wednesday. All right, and you're welcome to watch any of them that you want. Someone says, "Hi, Janet. Thank you for the healing. I saw clamps at the very beginning of my abundance river." Oh yeah, sometimes at the very beginning is there's a lot of limits at the beginning. It's kind of like with meridians, you know, the first and the last energy center in the meridian, the first and the last point in the meridian are like especially crucial to unblock, you know, because it's like you're bringing in energy from the previous meridian into that one, and you're releasing energy from this meridian into the next one, you know. So it's the same thing when you like read your abundance as a river, like the very start of it, sometimes you can notice a lot of limitations, and the more of those you melt away, the bigger your flow is in the river. You still have clamps there. You can work more over time, you know. I don't know. I don't see them so much as clamps. It's like they look like heavy, sort of like logs. Like, I don't know if you ever see like a logging truck, you know, that's full of these like giant logs that, you know, because they chop down a bunch of trees. It looks like that, like a whole bunch of logs like lying across your river. So the river has to like kind of squeeze under all the logs. It looks like from this life, like childhood, like between like 2 years old and 4 years old. Seems like some of your dad's stress you picked up on and took on a copy of it, which is common. Kids do that a lot. Anyway, you could melt that stuff. For visuals on pockets, yeah, abundance, imagining abundance as money in your pockets and seeing if the pockets stay full. They would be full and then they'd be taken out. It's like I couldn't keep them. Oh, very interesting. And then you continue, which I will go back to the other person's comment, but I want to finish this one. Clamps feel like they're an agreement with my family. If I had to guess on the money and pockets, it feels like beings. I think there could be agreements with the pockets emptying also. I would say it's people. So is it past life agreements for the emptying pockets or present life? It's mostly past life agreements. So you could just look at, the unhealthy agreements that you have that make your abundance pockets keep emptying and then melt those agreements. But you probably have to do it over a couple days, because there might be too many to do at once. The clamps, yeah, that's the thing that the heap of logs that I had read, that was some of your dad's stuff you took on. It's funny because sometimes you make agreements with your mom, an agreement that relates to your dad. And I think that if there is an agreement, it's a childhood agreement with your mom. Like, you listen to your dad knows best, everything your dad says you better do. And then you because you had this dad is my God kind of agreement with your mom, then you ended up taking on copies of his pain. So yeah, there are agreements, but it's not like you agreed with your dad to take on his pain. You agreed with your mom to sort of have a blank check with your dad. So I think accidentally he dumped some stress in your space one day. You were probably not going to sleep on time or whatever, So yeah, just I guess you don't have to worry about the details. Just melt agreements with both your parents, that make your abundance pockets empty. It's certainly not something they would want for you. Some people's parents do have negative intentions like that, but yours, it just sort of gets confused with your parents. Someone says, "Hi, Janet. Do you have any recommendations for how I can improve my abundance long term? I've improved it a lot over the years, but it still needs improvement. Angels say to do this healing several times." Yeah, I mean, there's that abundance river one. That's fine. I mean, whatever you can do, consistency is what is the thing. So if you like the, whatever it is, 6-minute video that I made 2 weeks ago, it was from a live stream. It's in this short video playlist called Heal Your Abundance as a River. If you like that, if that's something you'll do regularly a couple times a week, then that's great. If you don't like that and you prefer, like this stuff like we did today, like melt the debtors prison energy, that kind of thing, or the heal the mini yous that have a problem with, abundance. It's really whatever you're going to do regularly is the thing. I mean, obviously you can switch it up. But the consistency, I think, is the thing. Interesting how you said, how can I improve my abundance long term? I don't usually think of it that way. I just think of it as abundance. But you do kind of have some weird energy. Like I don't know how old you are right now, but you can look at your life, in sort of decades and see if you have something weird, like some kind of debt that you're supposed to do when you're a certain age, and you can just melt it. If it's an unhealthy debt of some sort from a past life or from somebody in your family. But I would just work abundance, period. You don't have to worry about short-term, long-term. all the same energy. That one about imagining abundance in your pockets, I'm wondering what that looks like when you do it. Because even something simple like that, imagining, okay, so how much money do you have in your pockets and does it stay there? Imagining that as abundance. If we look at the difference between creating, receiving, and being seen and noticed, receiving and being seen and noticed seem to be things that you have more of an issue with than creating. So healing the mini yous could be interesting too. Sometimes you're like, okay, well, what should I do? Like, give me a recipe to follow for the next 3 months. I think it doesn't have to be that serious. Your intuition's pretty good now. You can just pick and change it up and be spontaneous. So, hope that makes sense. Keep things interesting for yourself. Oh, the other person that spoke before says, in terms of courting, Janet, is there anything between myself and daughter that would help? Do I need to clear more with her in those lower chakras, or is she courting into me or vice versa too much? Oh my God, yes, I clicked your live stream right as soon as you were working on the debtors part. Aha. And I've been asking angels to guide me to help. And here you were, LOL. Yeah, that's cool. Well, you're definitely open to angels helping you. That's very cool. In the future, what you can do is, if you're asking me and you and another person, put your first and last initials and their first and last initials. It's obviously, you probably don't want to put your first and last full name and their first and last full name, feeling like maybe that's too public, but first and last initial and their first and last initial is really all I need, for that little extra help. Because and if you're asking about a daughter, like, I don't know how old she is, and that's very relevant energetically, because if she's like 12 or younger, then there would be a first chakra cord that should be there. But if she's 20 or 70 or whatever, however old she is, then that's relevant too. Okay, there's the initials, but how old is your daughter? That's also relevant. But anyway, I'll look in the meantime. Your question is, recording me into me or vice versa too much? Oh, okay, you give me the age. Good. Okay, so at 18, there would ideally be no cords between you and her. I don't know if you're together with her dad or if there's a divorce situation or something, but it seems like, it kind of looks like that maybe you're not with her dad anymore, and her dad has a lot of invasive energy that comes through her that can come towards you through her. But if that's not the case, and your partner, her dad, is still with you and his energy is stable, then it's something else, like she has a friend or something that has a lot of whacked out energy, and that extra invasive energy comes through the friend, through your daughter, towards you. So what you can just say is, if you have, so I don't think it's really an issue with your daughter courting you. It's whatever invasive energy is around her courts you and kind of gets towards you. That, oh my God, yes, you are bang on. We were never together and he's a narcissist. LOL. Okay. So it's really just the invasive energies that come through him, through her, towards you. Which, so a lot of people have to deal with this. Say, like, you're a teacher. You have to deal with all the parents of all the kids that you teach. Or, you're a business person and you have a bunch of clients and you have a couple of clients who are kind of intense, A lot of times it's not exactly that you have boundary issues with that person. You have boundary issues with all their beings, And so you're having boundary issues with the beings that come through your daughter. So, I mean, you could get her some healings if you want, or you can even just talk to her on a spirit level and just say, you know, like if her name, I'm just going to make up a fake name for her, right? You know, or I'll say if I have a friend like that, I'll say, you know, say I have a friend named Barbara, right? And Barbara has a lot of beings that are kind of bugging me on an energy level. I could do a couple things. I mean, one thing I could do is I could just telepathically, you know, stay present, but just say, hey, Barbara, your angels can help you with some clean outs in your sleep. So that, you know, that could help you sleep. It could help your stress. It could help your productivity, even your abundance. And Barbara would be like, on a spirit level, she'd be like, really? And I'd be like, exactly. Just ask your angels, can you give me some clean outs in my sleep? And then, you know, that'll help so that, you know, in your case, so that your daughter isn't such a, you know, conduit for invasive energy towards you. And then you can also just imagine, like, say you're dealing with, you know, getting invasive energies through your daughter and then through one of your neighbors and one of your siblings. You can just imagine all those people and then just imagine they're invasive beings that are likely to come towards you or are already trying to come towards you. Just imagine them like clouds above those people, and then don't do anything to those people, but just kind of to your angels, just say, angels, can you recycle all those invasive beings? Only the ones that are coming towards you. Because you don't want to kind of have open season on everybody's beings, because then they kind of, then you get targeted extra. But if it's just sort of this thing where, okay, if something comes at me, I'm going to ask the angels to get them. that's a more stable policy, right? So, you know, you imagine your daughter, imagine, you know, like busybody clouds above her, you know, any invasive beings that are coming towards you, and just say, angels, can you recycle all those invasive beings? So, and that's what energy healers ideally would be doing around their, you know, regarding their clients. Like I said, teachers, business people, you know, someone, like if someone has a sister that they really have a problem with, you know, like probably 60% of it is they have a problem with their sister's beings. So just imagine the sister, but then imagine all the invasive beings that are kind of motivating the conflict, and then just, angels, can you recycle all those beings? Invasive beings can be kind of troublemakers. I hope that makes sense. And you're saying, does that mean he's being invasive to my daughter specifically, or is he that way to all beings, and that's why I pick up on it? Your daughter specifically has boundary issues with him, so she could get angel classes on that. And also your daughter has boundary issues with just invasive beings in general. And then, so, yeah. I mean, he's invasive with a lot of people, but you don't know a lot of people. You know your daughter, you know, and so that's how they come from him through her towards you. Because I think you kind of work your boundaries with him directly on an energy level, but, you know, it's not uncommon for exes to try to get at their old partner through the kid. It's kind of a common trick. But yeah, if you got your daughter a bunch of clean out, if your daughter requested a bunch of clean outs, you know, on the astral from her angels, then that would probably be good enough. Yeah. And then, you know, you can just imagine any invasive beings that are coming towards you through her or him, and just ask your angels to recycle them all. But just the ones that are already coming at you or are likely to come at you, you know, ask your angels, can you please recycle those beings? Alrighty. So I'll just do an Izzy update and then we'll wrap up. So Izzy is the only one that there's any, I guess, news about, because the cats are fine. Izzy, he's okay. It was a little touch and go a couple of times this afternoon, because he gets nauseous sometimes, and he's on a special diet right now, and yada yada. But it all worked out, thankfully. So there was It was almost drama several times, but then it managed to simmer back down. So we didn't have any drama, which is beautiful. All righty. Well, you guys are amazing. And I hope you have a good afternoon, evening, morning, whatever's next for you. And we'll put my website up. So that's my website. And then this is my email address. Oops. That's my email address. Okay. Let's do some butterflies. If I can find them. There we go. All right. Bye. You're amazing.